If you're trying to use Instagram to sign clients and right now you're putting out a lot of content, maybe you're cold DMing strangers or just adding people and hoping that that results in people reaching out for your offers, chances are you're not getting a lot of traction. Maybe you're just going back to old platforms like using Facebook groups or LinkedIn because that's a little bit more reliable. The problem with those other platforms and what I've seen with a lot of clients is they're very limited. So they might be able to sign 1, 2, or even 3 or 4 clients a month from them, but they're not able to grow past that certain point. And the thing with Instagram is it is very, very hard to grow organically. Like, it's very hard to get in front of the right people. It's very hard to reach more people unless you're using viral strategies, which aren't always the best because you're not necessarily going to reach the right people. Even if your video hits 100,000 people, it could end up reaching just completely the wrong audience in the wrong countries with people that you're not actually going to work with. And so it's a little bit redundant. So what we can do is use paid advertising to get really specific on who it is that we want to attract using targeting, but then we can also get really even more specific by using messaging. So messaging is really important to attract the right people. A lot of the time I speak to people and they ask me, what's the best targeting I can set up so I can attract like people with money or people who can buy my stuff. But that's the wrong question because every audience is going to have people that have money and don't have money. So the difference is using messaging to attract the right people. So you can use things within your ads, like if you're doing a video or if you're writing, then you can address people with money. If you're speaking to somebody who's a higher demographic, and I'll use an example for one of my clients who works with business owners who are successful in business and they're trying to, get their health in good order and they're trying to lose weight and they're trying to get back into shape, right? He could easily just say, hey, are you trying to lose weight in his ad? He could easily say, hey, are you a man who is trying to lose weight and get back in shape, right? You can take it a step further and say, hey, are you a businessman and you're struggling to get into shape, right? That still doesn't necessarily address the kind of people he wants to attract. So you need to tell more of a story and paint more of a picture. Are you a businessman who you've got the car, you've got the house, you're there, you're supporting for your family, you're going on the nice holidays, but something's missing. Your energy isn't there. You know that you're putting on weight year after year after year, and as you get older, that's causing more stress and more friction, and you know that if you don't solve this, you're digging yourself into an early grave, right? The messaging is completely different, and you're going to attract people who are much higher quality with that second version. And so this is what we do with our clients. We dive deep into their messaging to make sure that they get that set up correctly. So when we apply this into ads, what's really important to understand is when you launch an ad, you're taking that to a fairly specific but a wide audience. So you're not just sending this into the cosmos and it's going to hit billions of people. You might have a targeted audience that has like 1 or 2 million people in it, so it's still broad enough. But then within that audience, you're trying to find like 10 or even 5% of that audience. So your message is like a magnet. It's going to attract the people within that and then repel the people who aren't a good fit. I think sometimes when we niche down, we get fearful that we're going to push people away. But the truth is we want to do that, right? We don't want to be attracting everybody into our brand because we're just building a list of people who are never going to work with us. And so it's really important when you're especially marketing on Instagram is you're building your profile, you're building your followers, you're building your messages with people who are relevant, who are actually going to be a likely fit to want to work with you. And one of the most powerful ways to make this work is rather than thinking too much about what that person wants, what that person needs, is reflect it back onto you, your story, your expertise, the results that you have got with clients, because that is going to attract the best types of people. If you just kind of fish using like key buzzwords, you're going to attract people that are maybe just looking for a surface level fix and they don't make the best clients, right? They're just looking for a quick fix. They just want that quick weight loss. They just want that, quick hit with their relationship or dating, or they just want to make quick money, right? Those are not the best types of clients because they don't stick around and they're often quite stressful to work with because the expectations don't match reality. And so for you to find people that have the right expectations, you need to do the groundwork by sharing your message, by sharing your story. So for example, if you went through a journey to get from struggling with this problem to achieving this success, you can break that down. These are the steps that I took to get from here to here. Or you can tell it through the perspective of a client. My client Josh, for example, who I worked with recently, he actually had never run ads before. And he'd grown his business to 6 figures, which is amazing, but he was capped. He couldn't really grow it much further. And he knew that he needed paid advertising, but he didn't really know how to run them. And so over 16 weeks, we built out his ads. We got him really clear on his message. We got him really dialed in with learning everything around paid ads. And literally within a few weeks, he got ads set up and he was getting a 6x return on his ad spend, right? So he spent $2,000 one month and made $12,000 back. Right? So that's really powerful for him, but also for me to share that story within my ads. So hopefully you can see how you can piece this together. And from there, you're able to create a cohesive message to put out in the marketplace behind paid ads and attract the right people. And there's kind of 2 types of ads that I run with people initially to get some flow going. There's follower ads. So this is an ad that you set up to get new followers, and those new followers you go message. I created a video on the script to do that as well. So check that out on my channel if you haven't already. And then the other thing we're doing is using DM ads. So this is a bit more direct, and this is where you have something to give, right? You don't just say like, hey, message me for a chat. It's like, I have this resource, this training, this course, whatever it is, and you can get access to it if you message me this keyword. You've probably seen ads like that before. Maybe you've seen some of my ads that do that. And so if you put that out in the marketplace, people message you inbound. From there, you have a very hot conversation going, right? So you can send them resources, you can build rapport, you can build that relationship, but then you're also able to ask them questions and you're able to go into what I call like doctor diagnosis mode, right? You're the expert. They're coming to you for solutions, so you can ask them questions. If you think you've got like a clipboard, you're asking them questions, you're finding out what their problems are, what they've tried before, what their goals are, what they want to achieve, and then you prescribe them the help they need, right? So initially that prescription might just be you sending them trainings or resources. Hey, go check this out. It's going to give you some clarity around this. And then if you feel like you can really help them, then the prescription is booking a call. Hey, look, I think I can help you further. Let's jump on a call and map out a game plan together. Right? It's a really kind of casual way of doing it, but you build rapport before you actually jump on a sales call. So if you compare that to like a traditional funnel where you set up an ad, you run them to a webinar or a video sales letter, they watch a video, they book a call, chances are your show up rate is going to be quite low on those funnels. And there's going to be a lot of resistance when people are on those calls because they don't know you that well. They haven't had a personal interaction with you. They've just watched a pre-recorded video. And so that short messenger conversation is extremely powerful, especially on Instagram, which is a personal platform, right? It's driven by personal brands. And whilst there are, bigger brands out there, it's the personal brands that take off. It's the personal brands that get shared content. It's the people connect with people on that platform. And so if you're able to plug that into your marketing, you're going to get a lot more out of what you're doing organically, but also what you're doing with paid advertising, so you can get a much better return. That's how my clients are able to put $1 in and get 6, 10, sometimes even $20 out, meaning, a 20x return on ad spend, which is unheard of with other marketing funnels. If you're interested in my team just building this out for you and you're not having to worry, then click the link below. You can kind of see how that works. But if you want to explore more around this, then check out my crash course. I'm going to link that below as well. It walks through step by step how you can plug this into your business. So you can start generating leads every day, calls every day, and you might generate 2-3 clients a week depending on how you set this up.